Hello, my name is Dr. Thomas Anderson II, and I would like to welcome you to my presentation on the double entendre of coaching technology. In this presentation, I will unpack the double entendre of coaching technology. I'll also explore emerging research on the digital coaching landscape and how to evaluate coaching platforms. I'll tell you how to access the latest and greatest reports on digital coaching platforms, and there are two of them. I'll review a handful of tech platforms I've worked into my new business model, and I will recap insights and provide recommendations on ways to augment your coaching practice using tech platforms. In 2016, I became interested in the future of coaching and its emerging opportunities, so much so that I put my life coaching practice on hold and began to conduct research for a period. One of the topics I've found interesting is the intersection of coaching and technology. Now, coaching became a $1 billion business before the explosion of the tech platforms in the last 2 to 3 years. And so tech advances plus an infusion of venture capital have resulted in unprecedented growth in digital coaching. Andre Ribeiro explained that, and he's a coach, a master coach, he explained that in recent years, changes in the available technology, namely ubiquitous, cheap, and quality online video, have made it possible to dramatically lower the costs, widen access to coaching, and improve the overall digital coaching experience. And so to date, over $1 billion in investments have been made in digital coaching or in that space, with about 630 million being infused into BetterUp's platform, which has been valuated at 4.7 billion as of October of 2021. Not everyone views this growth favorably, and that causes some people to ask, has the democratization of coaching led to the commoditization of coaching? The question is worth considering, but answering it is beyond the scope of my presentation today. So, in the spirit of delivering on what I promised you in this session, I will unpack the double entendre of coaching technology right now. The double entendre consists of two ideas that could seem to stand in opposition to each other. The first idea is that coaching is a type of technology. Now, what may be a little more familiar is the second idea, that technology can be used to deliver coaching. So let's move on to unpack these ideas. What comes to mind when you think of the word technology? Images of your smartphone, computer, or any digital machine that makes life easier probably comes to mind. It's amazing how technology has become immediately associated with information technology and computing. But there is a difference between IT and technology itself. Technology refers to the work processes, techniques, machines, and actions used to transform organizational inputs like material, information, and ideas into outputs, products and services, and an organization's production process, including work procedures and machinery, also constitutes technology. And so, can you imagine a coaching culture or coaching capability as a machine that turns inputs into outputs? Of course, that is just an analogy. A discipline geared toward transformation, such as coaching is, could never be reduced to being a machine. But could coaching be considered a new way for individuals and organizations to communicate? In his book, The Diffusion of Innovations, Everett Rogers defines innovation as an idea, practice, or object that is perceived as being new by an individual or another unit of adoption. And so what we have is coaching being a new way to communicate in many organizations, and it can be used to spark, guide, and produce transformation, to convey ideas and make decisions. But coaching is also a technology, and as such, it needs to be adopted by organizational leaders and followers to scale and to produce the desired results. Back in 2009, I shared with one of my colleagues in public education that I was a coach, and she responded with absolute disgust. And so it turned out that she had been coached right before being fired from her job as a manager with a renowned telecommunications company. So I did some digging and I found out that historically, coaching has been used in the retail industry to coach someone out of an organization. It's been used in a remedial way on the back end to address employee performance gaps. And so the job description that you see dates back to July of this year for the highest ranked company on the Fortune 500 list. And so I will be paying attention to Fortune 500 retail companies to see if this case of front end coaching in retail is a bellwether of sorts. The example of front end coaching at Walmart places a principle on full display. The adoption of coaching as a technology is coinciding with the digital coaching movement. I begin to wonder how the double entendre of coaching technology fits in with Rogers adopters categories that you see in the first image, and specifically Jeffrey Moore's principle. He did a take on Rogers' initial idea of what it takes to cross the divide or the chasm between the needs of innovators and early adopters, and then the majority. And so, if I were to form a hypothesis borrowing from Moore's idea in crossing the chasm, I would say that larger companies needed other options for coaching to be done at scale in organizational settings. And so time will tell if the digital coaching platforms are helping the major companies to, or I should say not major, but the larger companies to actually cross the chasm and bring some form of coaching into their organizations in an individualized and meaningful way. In this section, I'd like to review two frameworks that helped me to make sense of the digital coaching space. Danny Johnson, a co-founder and principal analyst of Red Thread Research, wrote a paper entitled Coaching Tech, The Humans and the Robots. And it's based on her research. It's a free 56-page document, and it's worth the read. She begins with 8 major findings, including trends and drivers of coaching technology. And she includes an expanded definition of coaching to include those trends and how to choose the right coaching tech solution for your organization's specific needs. Now, in this report, Johnson uses 2 axes that you'll see on the screen to evaluate over 40 coaching tech vendors. The x-axis addresses whether internal resources are available to support a coaching effort, and the y-axis examines to what degree the organization believes humans are necessary to deliver coaching. And so the great thing about this report is that for each quadrant, she provides one, an explanation and description of the quadrant based on the axis, two, common functionality or how this group of platforms is normally used. Three, she includes attractive features and best use cases. And then the last thing she does that was remarkable to me is she provides clickable links that lead you to websites of most of the platforms in each quadrant. So I highly encourage you to download this paper if you have any interest whatsoever in how coaching tech could augment or even disrupt coaching as usual. I also suggest downloading Bright Eye Ventures' research paper. So just like in Johnson's paper, the y-axis looks at the degree to which an organization believes that humans are necessary for coaching. The major difference is that this paper, Bright Eye's paper, uses the x-axis to reflect the different types of skills, soft skills and hard skills that startups are offering in the coaching tech space. Because Red Thread's paper offers a contextualized look at the platforms, I've decided to zoom out a little bit to explore technology platforms that we, human coaches, can use to augment our practices. And I have met personally with representatives from each of these platforms and would be glad to make any individual introductions. Back in the spring of 2020, I took the DSL class on organizational coaching initiatives, and I completely enjoyed it so much so that I couldn't stop the work when I finished. But I wanted to identify a coaching company that actually built coaching cultures. And so I did. And the company is called ASUP, and their sweet spot is that they have created a platform that their team of expert external coaches uses to build coaching cultures that are inclusive of all organizational levels through their approach, which is centered around leadership development. Technology doesn't have to be centered on digital coaching to be used by coaches. You can actually use tech that's related to your coaching specialty. My coaching specialty is vision development and realization. And so recently I connected with the team at Golster, and Golster's platform centers on professional training, motivation, and goal achievement. Now they have a customizable platform that connects C-suite strategy to frontline execution. And so they also partner with internal and external or independent coaches to build training platforms. And I found that it's a great way to deliver content for coaching and training programs and then use the coaching sessions to do what one of my colleagues referred to as pure coaching, where you dance in the moment with the client. And so I'm currently building out my platform based on an 11-step vision development and realization process for visionary leaders, entrepreneurs, founders, and CEOs. So after I took the creativity and innovation course, I began to search for a platform that I could one day recommend to my clients if they needed help in that area. And I came across Bright Idea. And so this is a great resource for either external or internal innovation coaches. It's an idea and innovation management software that helps with crowdsourcing and hackathons and accelerators and innovation labs. It also features 20 plus integrations that include Teams, Slack, Alexa, YouTube, and Google Analytics, just to name a few. And Bright Idea has a track record of working with Fortune 500 clients. Never in my life have I met a coach who had zero marketing challenges. So Acadia matches professionals with marketing apprentices for a very affordable rate. In exchange for marketing assistance, professionals have the opportunity to mentor their apprentices. And so this is a perfect match for a coach, especially one who is starting their practice or one who is entering into a new market space. So I know I've provided you with a lot of information today, and I hope you have jotted some insights down of your own. If you have or if you haven't, here are 4 insights for the road. The first insight is that coaching is a communication innovation, arguably a technology, and that becomes really important when you consider how coaching is being integrated into organizations right now. The second is that technology helps companies to offer coaching at scale. And especially when it comes to that ROI factor, technology can really help to prove the value of coaching. So let's all take a collective sigh of relief, knowing that the digital coaching landscape can be understood. And so remember your resources that I recommended to you. There's the Red Thread research and also the Bright Eye Ventures research. And then lastly, coaching practitioners can partner with tech platforms in order to serve their clients in a better way, but also take some of the load off of us as coaches. So I'd like to leave you with a few recommendations. For external coaches, I encourage you to find creative ways to augment your business model using tech platforms. I am doing this now through strategic and referral partnerships, but the point is this is the wild west of digital coaching and a chance to get in on the ground floor. For internal coaches, I suggest matching the coaching platforms that you're considering with your organization's needs using those 2 matrices, and especially paying attention and using the coaching tech matrix to determine the best fit. Johnson has done a lot of the pre-work for you, and she walks you through the process. And so that journey should become a lot easier when using the coaching tech landscape matrix. My next statement might seem a little biased because I am an external coach, but I'd like to end by saying digital coaching cannot replace the transformation associated with human coaching. And so just want to leave you with this thought. Human coaches can use digital platforms to help organizations to reach their goals and deliver coaching at scale. It has been my pleasure to talk with you today on Coaching and Technology. If you would like any more information on the topics that I spoke about, feel free to send me a quick email to thomas@teano.com. That's TEAIIANO.com. Also, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm on there a couple of times a day, and the web address is there for you. And also, you can visit my website for more information and to schedule a time to share your vision with me. These are the sources that I have referenced throughout my presentation. Most of them are searchable. If you can't find any of them, let me know and I will send them to you directly. So you made it to the end of the presentation. I hope to connect with you soon. Take care.